Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Bas Bogdan here, your not so entertaining host for the next couple of minutes. Thanks for clicking this video. I promise you'll be disappointed. Just kidding, guys. Keep on watching as I will cover 5 products that, from my point of view, are worth exporting towards Moldova. And the first one comes from heading 8413, and I'm talking here about pumps for liquids, whether or not fitted with a measuring device. And we see that in 2022, Moldova imported some $19 million worth of goods from this particular heading, mostly from China, Italy, and Germany. But as you can see here, we have other, second-tier partners like, Poland, Spain, or Romania. This last one managing to export almost $500,000 worth of goods from this heading towards Moldova. Now, in terms of year-on-year dynamics, we see a negative change, some $2.3 million, if I were to put a dollar figure to the percentage here, with Romania and Germany having registered the largest contraction. While on the positive side, we see some $455,000 from areas not elsewhere specified. Now, in what concerns the main drivers here, we see that from China, most imports were driven by centrifugal pumps, subheading 841370, while from Spain, these were mainly driven by fuel lubricating or cooling medium pumps for internal combustion piston engines, so subheading 841330. Moving now, guys, to my second recommendation, we have heading 8708, and we are talking about parts and accessories for tractors and for vehicles for the transport of 10 or more persons, blah blah blah, with almost $70 million worth of imports for 2022, almost 9% more relative to the previous year. And we see here that China, Germany, and Romania were the main partners. But we have other important ones like, Turkey, Poland, or Taiwan, to name just a couple from this top 10 list. The compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years is positive overall, some 6.8%, with a nice upward trend. While zooming in and analyzing on a year-on-year basis, we see that for 2022 we have two small, almost insignificant contractions, Poland and Spain, while on the positive side, the exports from both Germany and Romania expanded with some $1.7 million for the former and some $3.3 million for the latter, basically both contributing a lot to the overall absolute positive change. Now, in terms of the main drivers, we have here two examples. One in relation with Germany, whose main exports towards Moldova from this heading were mainly driven by brakes and servo brakes, while on the other hand, Turkey exported mainly suspension systems and parts thereof. So we are talking here about subheading 870880. Jumping, guys, now to my third recommendation, we have here heading 9027, so instruments and apparatus for physical or chemical analysis, with some $5.8 million worth of imports for 2022, some $4.6 million less than in 2021, quite a lot if you ask me. And basically we see that Germany, the United States, and Japan, all three highly specialized in this field, were the main partners, which were followed by others like, Singapore, Italy, or Spain. This last one managing to export some $150,000 worth of goods from this heading. Relative to the year-on-year dynamics, as I've said, we have a big contraction, and if I look closely, we have only two countries who managed a positive change, Italy and the Netherlands, while on the opposite side we have big contractions in relation with both the United States and China. both with figures above the $1 million mark. As for the main drivers, we see that for both the United States and Japan, here we have the same subheading. Sorry guys. So 902750. So we are talking about instruments and apparatus for physical and chemical analysis using ultraviolet, visible or infrared optical radiation. Moving now guys to my fourth recommendation. We have here heading 3304, beauty or makeup preparations for the care of the skin. Gee, I wonder for what we should use these preparations other than skin, maybe hair. Yeah. So we have some $36 million worth of imports in 2022, some 28% more relative to the previous year, and basically traditional exporters like France, South Korea, and Germany were Moldova's main partners in 2022, which were followed by others like Poland, Italy, or Spain, again to mention just a couple from this top 10 list. Relative to the compound annual growth rate for these last 5 years, we see almost 11% increase. And if I were to narrow down and see the performance of 2022 relative to 2021, the figures are really impressive, especially those coming from South Korea, who managed the largest increase in absolute terms, some $1.4 million more exports in 2022 relative to 2021. As for the main drivers, we see here that for both South Korea and Italy, we have the same subheading 330499. So we are talking about beauty or makeup preparations for, again, the care of skin. And lastly, guys, my fifth recommendation for you comes from heading 3917. So we are talking about tubes, pipes, and hoses, from which Moldova imported some $41.2 million worth of goods in 2022, which is almost 13% less in relative terms, $6 million in absolute ones, with Romania here, Turkey, and also the Czech Republic as the main partners, which were followed by others like, I don't know, Germany, Poland, or Serbia, to mention just a couple from this top 10 list. As you can see, Romania clearly dominates, I don't know, mostly because of its proximity. Maybe price is also determinant, and in 2022 managed to export some $10 million worth of goods. I think almost as much as the next three partners put together, which for me is quite impressive. Now, relative to the year-on-year dynamics, we see here that except the Czech Republic and Serbia, who grew their exports towards Moldova in 2022, the rest of 8 partners experienced contractions. The largest, at least in absolute terms, happening in relation with the Russian Federation, some $1.2 million fewer exports towards Moldova. As for the main drivers, well, we have rigid tubes, pipes, and hoses, so polymers of ethylene coming from Romania, while from the Czech Republic, the main driver was subheading 391732. So we are talking about flexible tubes, pipes, and hoses of plastics, not reinforced with other materials. And guys, with this last product being covered as well, these were the 5 products that I recommend exporting towards Moldova. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to hit whatever button you like below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.